Hello and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Oslo, and today we have our top 64 player. Your name?
I'm Roselle.
And what did you do?
I got top 64 at the European Championships this weekend.
And what did you play?
I played Fiendsmith Snake Eye,
Hell
like everyone
yeah.
else.
Yeah. So, do you have any shout-outs before we start?
Shout out to Christian for building my deck with me. Shout out to Alex for lending me the third copy of the Fiendsmith. And shout out to Jon for lending me the QCR Mulch Army, because I couldn't find the third one on the Friday.
That's good. Alright, let's go to the deck profile.
Yeah, we'll start off with the main deck. For the Snake Eyes ratios, I played 3 Snake Eye Ash, 2 Poplar, 1 Oak, 1 Flame Birch. Finally, we got rid of the second one, the Curse. I still drew this like 3-4 times, but whatever. We're not drawing 2 anymore at least. The Bellstar, the original, and the Temple. Nothing to explain here, it's just Snake Eyes. I played the full Wanted package, even though I played 42, because I wanted maximum consistency. I've seen most people play like either 45, 46, or 40 with 1 Witch, which I tried, but I was just drawing too few 2-card combinations. And you always need Starter plus Extender in this deck. Because the reason this deck is so strong is when you draw Starter plus Extender, you basically play through 3 traps. 3 Bonfire, of course. 3 Fiendsmith, 1 Tract, 1 Lurie. Self-explanatory. People who play 2 of this in this deck are mad. Hand traps. I played the 12 hand traps. I think you have to play this format. The 3 Ash, 3 Nib, 3 Veiler, and 3 Impermanence. These overperformed. They're really good. This card is, in my mind, the best hand trap of this format, because if you draw it with a pair, then it's basically always ending the turn, no matter how many extenders they have. And alone, apart from like normal summon Snake Eye Ash, Imperm, Pass, it's the best hand trap you can have into multi-card combos. That's because it will always impact the end field in some way. For the rest of the hand traps, I played the 3 Bestials. Apart from Nib, this is by far the best hand for this format. It gives you a body, which is half of a Moon or half of a Hita. And it gives you, like, it replaces itself. It gives you the other monster, which either just baits Apple Negates or is another body plus a piece of removal. I also played 1 Phantasme and 1 Ghost Mourner. This is here mainly as a cross-out target post side. And it's by itself, it's still a good hand trap, but last format it was all about drawing like 2 of the Imperm Veiler Mourner cards to stop Witch and Ash. But if you draw 2 Imperm or Mourner, like Veiler Mourner or Mourner Imperm or something like that this format, it's not that good, because you still have Ash and Witch, and then they just do Fiendsmith combo and do like make full board anyways. So this is more like to pair with like Nib and Ash, but it's mainly there for cross out because I didn't want to get like caught on an awkward hand and stuff by it. This is here for side patterns, and it's also randomly a good sort of Magnamut. For the last and 42nd card, I played 1 Angel of Blue Tears main. This is all the spice for my list, because I found that with the 1-card combos, you have to send away Temple to play safe, to play under Nib, and the end field loses so hard to Dark Ruler. Like, if you get Dark Rulered on a 1-card combo, you have just Princess as interruption, and whatever hand traps you drew. So I wanted this main to have something additional to go for. I'm not doing something like insane with it game 1, I'm just using it to set infinite impermanence from the deck. But the additional interruption is really, really nice. I got to use this like 3-4 times during the event. It only mattered once though. But that one time I would have lost the game if I didn't play this. It's also not half bad when you draw it going second. Like, I've seen a lot of people play Ghost Ogre, and in the mirror match, Ghost Ogre is basically just a negate for Apollousa. This going second, I know a lot of people haven't read the first line of text. The first line of text says target a monster on the field, negate its effect, and then the opponent of that monster burns 200 for every card in their hand. So it's basically just Imperm for Apollousa, and then you take some chip damage. That's the main deck, 42 cards. I see a lot of people play like 44, 45. I wanted to play like closer to 40 because I wanted to see like my good cards. I wanted to see Ash Bonfire. And I didn't want to see like just 2 or 3 hand traps. I wanted to see the good hand traps. Like, I wanted to see Imperm, I wanted to see Nib, I wanted to see Magnamut. For the extra, Fiendsmith package. Very standard, like you play all of these, though I decided to cut the Desiree, because I felt that with all your lines, you were just going for this anyways. This was so much more natural to make. Because every 1-card line you can do this, into this, and still end on full board, like it doesn't cost you anything. But if you're going for Desiree, you don't get that extra body, because you can't link the Desiree away. So it gets like really awkward playing under Nib when you're making Desiree. I also found like post side, everyone, even though they were playing Desiree, would just side in like this with the like crazy traps like DDG and Barrier anyways, and then you'd always be making Beatrice. So the Desiree just wasn't worth the slot for me. For the rest of the extra deck, I decided to play the Anima. You need this now. It's not just like a utility piece anymore. You need it for a lot of your combos because you make it under sequence to go into Celine. The IP, of course, Princess, Phoenix, Celine, Appaloosa, SP, Hita. All of these are self-explanatory. They're all necessary. And then for the last slot, this is where most people play Desiree. I play Access Code. I can't imagine cutting this card. I can't imagine siding it. It's so good. There was so many game ones, I think like 7 or 8 times, where I had to summon this either to kill or to break the board. I would literally have lost like 7 games that I did win because of this card. For the side, 3 crossout. I think this is necessary. Most people are siding in like 5 or 6 more hand traps. So like game 1, most people have like 20 hand traps and 45. And post-side it goes up to like 24, 25 hand traps and 45. So you need this to defend your place. You could also technically play Lullaby of Obedience, but A, I felt that card lost too hard to draw, and B, it's also really bad if you happen to play against like a non-Fiendsmith deck. I played 2 crossout targets main. I didn't want a main deck. I played Droll and Ghost Sister. This was not necessary. I don't think you have to play this. It's nice into the mirror going first, because it turns off a lot of their extenders. I've never main decked this card though, because there's so many instances where like you drop this and it doesn't do anything, because it's essentially only affecting their hands that start with either Fiendsmith or Bonfire. If they start with Snake Eye Ash into this, it's so bad. It's basically just like ashing Poplar, which is terrible because they still have all their gas, all their plays. I saw a lot of people was coping on this card because the mirror match was taking so long, which I learned this deck where like I learned this deck. I put a bunch of time into it. So I was playing really fast, so I was finishing like all my matches in like 20 minutes. But I saw a lot of people go into time and like have 5 minutes for game 3 or some shit like that. So I thought a lot of people was gonna side this card, and I didn't want to get caught in a spot where like I'm going first, 10 minutes on the clock, I get hit by this. The card by itself also isn't bad. It's really good against like the random decks like Tenpai and Giving Puppets, because they can't kill you or they can't FTK you if you drop this. And of course, it's good for time. I think I drew it once, which was against Tenpai, but I drew it with Skill Drain, so I didn't need it. Speaking of, I also played the 1 Skill Drain. Wish I could fit more. The side is super tight. This is mainly here because I didn't have enough cards for like the stun decks. So this is a cross-out target against like Runic Stun, Horus Stun, and Labyrinth. And it's also like just a really good card going first in general. And I played the 3 blue tiers targets. The Barrier for Tenpai, Branded, and I don't know, other random decks that be lose to this card. DDG for the meta matchups, for the mirror match, and for Yubel. And also like random decks like Tier. And the Eradicator is for like stun decks. Because basically, outside of the Skill Drain, which you're playing anyways, I had 2 slots for the back row decks. And I found that like one of them had to be something you could access with either Beatrice or Blue Tier going first. And this was by far the best one. I didn't play any of those decks, so I didn't get to use it. But going first, like those decks don't play hand traps, so you just set this up with either a big access code or with the Witch. And like against Runic Sun, if you call spell with this, they just can't win. Like, unless they show you a hand of literally like Rivalry, Synchro Zone, Skill Drain, they can't win. Because all their spells go by, and they have 3 turns where they can't do anything. Against Lav, if you call Trap, they like their hand needs to be perfect to do anything into your board. And then for the rest of the side, 2 Phantasmae, the 3rd one's in the main, obviously, and then 3 Mulch. I found that outside of the hand traps I was already playing, like I didn't want to play Droll, I didn't want to play more Mourners, I didn't want to play Ogre, I wanted to draw the good hand traps. So I decided to play the hand traps that drew you into more cards. These were amazing. I didn't see them that much, I think I only saw Phantasmae like 3 times, and Mulched like 4. The worst part about Mulch by far is the fact that it can be ashed. So like I only think I got to draw cards off of this once, because it was ashed twice, and the last time my opponent just went set cross-out pass. Which that game it did win, because I obviously played through 1 cross-out, because this deck is insane. But by far, best cards of the side deck. Really good for the format. And then the last slot, which was the other slot I had for the stun decks, which was the Harp's Feather Duster. Just all-around versatile card. Best card into Runic Stun. Like, I know a lot of people have trouble finding where to use it, because like they just go main phase, activate, and then it gets blocked by Runic Stun onto Hugin. This card is actually really good against those decks, because you just force them to skill drain you first, so they can't Hugin anymore, and then you just wipe their back row and kill them. I said didn't play any of those decks though, but I was happy to have it there in case I did.
Alright. Any final words you want to say about the format, or even tell us about your matchups and how I think you said you were 11-1 after Swiss and came 4th place?
Yeah, I was 11-1 after Swiss. Only lost one match to a guy that got 4th place in the World Point qualifier on the Friday, and like a previous French national champion. And I only lost that match because game 1, we were in a spot where he had Witch, Beatrice, a set card, and 1 card in hand, and I top deck Poplar with Wanted in graveyard. And I normal summon the Poplar, he imperm said, I get my Wanted draw, and I get Black Witch. So my hand is Black Witch Flamberge. If I link the anima the Poplar into anima, and then go Poplar place, summon Witch over Poplar, I play through Nibiru, but the combo is a bit weaker into everything else. If I pitch the Flamberge, the combo is stronger into everything else, but I lose harder I full lose to Nibiru. I pitch the Flamberge, and then the last card in hand is dead. If I kept the Flamberge, I would have killed him through the Nibiru.
Amazing.
And then in Top Cut, I lost to Tenpai because Tenpai players just draw better.
Yeah, like always. Anyway, thank you so much for the profile and congratulations on top 64, the 3rd Norwegian to ever top such a major event. And thank you for everything.